I'm now meant to shift also to Sebastian Mandron, Group Head of CSR World Line, who will listen to what I'm saying, and it's in the simultaneous translation, which is reaching in the earphones. So I was saying that we are here to talk about digital payments, and there is a great frontier about which Mr. Mandron can tell us something more. So what does it really mean being engaged in the digital sector? The mission is that of reaching the carbonization of payment. So which were the criticalities, the critical aspects that you have noticed in this sustainable path, in this great journey so far?
What is really important is to mention that, hold on. Will be easier like that.
Yes, it is important. Of course.
It's quite complex to manage.
2 languages, no.
No, so I think it's very important to have in mind the 2 trends. Okay, the first trend is that more and more, in fact, the citizens, they have in mind that things are changing. Okay, they know that they are facing big difficulties. Okay, and they know that they will need to change their transportation. They know that they need to change the way they eat. They know that they have to change the way they consume. Okay, all of this is known now. Okay, after 10 years after the Paris Agreement is known. What is at stake is how do we do? Okay, so and definitively they are ready to make those changes. You know, if you have a look, in fact, in these events, okay, the furniture, it has changed, okay? You are not considering that such furniture is a concern. 10 years ago, you will say, what is this?
Yes.
It's not the standard at all. Okay, I cannot afford to sit on that sheet. It has changed, okay? And people now agree to make those changes. So if we move, in fact, that dimension, in fact, in the digital payment, currently people are used to pay with a credit card, okay, on a terminal, generating a receipt. And what we are investigating in our side is what are the CO2 impact, in fact, of such transaction, okay? Because initially we believe that most of the emissions, in fact, they were coming from the digital part, which is the data center. Okay, and we say we need to know just to reduce our emission. What we discover is that the data center is just 4% of the emission. Okay, and what we start to tell, in fact, to the banks, to the retailers or the citizens is that if we consolidate all the payments in the terminal, we cut by 3 the CO2 emission. Meaning that it is about, do you need the receipt, the paper receipt? No. 20% saving, okay? Are you really using your credit card? If you are a young person, in fact, you take the credit card you receive from the bank, you take a picture, you put on your phone, and after you forget the PIN, because you pay with your phone.
Piccoli gesti ma significativi e che alla fine...
Yeah, it's something extremely easy.
So the credit card, in fact, you saw that you can put it in directly, in fact, in your phone through a dedicated file, and you don't need the plastic part. Same for the terminal. When you take a taxi, what the use of the terminal, you can pay just by putting the phone on the phone of the taxi driver. And here, what I describe, you as a citizen, I'm not changing your life. I'm not changing your standard of living. So for sure, you will take it because you say it's free of lunch. You know, the guy is proposing to cut by 3 my CO2 emission just for free. For sure, I go. Because, you know, now I have integrated the fact that I need to change on those options. This is where the corporates are currently working on those solutions, in fact, to reduce the CO2 emissions. This is really the change that we saw in the past months.
E questo è
and that's extremely important.
Have an idea of what the consumer is about to do by this time. Di cosa il consumatore.
So having a concrete idea of what the consumers are searching for in this historical moment.
Our main purpose, qual è il nostro obiettivo? Che è quello di essere meno impattanti.
Our main purpose is that of being less, to have a weaker impact, of course, a weaker footprint.
Quindi nella vostra storia aziendale, se dovessimo inquadrare quale...
So during in your history, if we were supposed to detect the first step towards ESG, which was your first initiative? So how did you start your company's history? Which was the very first step towards this change? And today, which are the achievements that we can find in your path, of course?
this direction, and of course, which achievements by now you can explain to us?
So I think what starts to be material, especially with the new regulation, because with the new regulation that has been published, in fact, by Europe and voted at European level, is that definitively, it's a new skill. Okay. If you need to do accounting, you need an accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's obvious. That's obvious for everyone. Okay, here what is at stake is that here we don't speak anymore only about CO2 emission, which is a complex topic for which we spend 10 years just to put it, in fact, under control in terms of mindset. Now we enter biodiversity. We touch circular economy, we touch the water. That means on all of those dimensions, we need experts, we need to make diagnosis on target, on set up solution. So it is an area of research that is quite huge, in which we need to spend time. On the first value, in fact, it is really to have the mindset, okay, on people having interest on the topic, just to be focused on find solution. But there is a pretty good news is that as it is the beginning that we deep dive in such context, is that we'll find plenty of solutions for free. Okay, that's very positive, because the explanation I did regarding the payment, okay, it is about what? 40k euros spent? It's not big transformation, it's just take new eyes and say, how does it look? Okay, for sure it does not apply to all industry. If you go in the automotive industry, moving in fact to electrical car, for sure it costs a fortune. Okay, but for many things, in fact, just by having this look, in fact, we can make savings. Okay, and we can propose to the citizen solution for which, in fact, they will get the saving. Okay, and they can continue to contribute to those environmental impact reduction.
E quindi sicuramente anche a volte bisogna riflettere.
So it's also important to talk and to consider the scope of one's business, starting from the initiatives to be adopted within your business.
It's an important part of our business, and of course investing in this kind of peculiarities, I think.
Yeah, so definitely all the corporates cannot, in fact, save the planet by targeting all the dimensions, because first, it does not make sense for everyone. Where they need to focus on, in fact, it is on their business model. What has changed in the past 10 years is that 10 years ago, in fact, you were CSR, Corporate Social Responsible Officer. Okay, you were there to make things good. Okay, to ensure that the company is respecting the environment, is respecting the social dimension, and so on. Now, in fact, we have moved to sustainability. You are head of sustainability. You need to protect your business model. Okay? You need to know if your company could be at risk in case there is a water shortage. In case the biodiversity is destroyed, let's put it that way. So you need to analyze for your business model what are the impacts, and here, in fact, you need, in fact, to find solution. And the new regulation is putting, in fact, the step further, which is on top of what you say, on top of your KPI, on top of your policies, you need to declare what are the financial means you put on the table. And it is really a key changer. Okay, here, in fact, everyone will need to say, I'm putting 1 million euro, 10, 5, 11, okay? And for sure, it will be a position for the company to compare each of them, in fact, and to ensure that everyone is going in the right direction. Meaning that we are no more in situation like in the past 10 years where I'm just declaring, in fact, what are the good things I'm doing, okay? I need to demonstrate, in fact, my dynamic. I need to demonstrate my targets. I need to demonstrate, in fact, the financial means I put, in fact, on the table to reach the target, okay? What is at stake is to de-risk the business model, okay? When the people are having a look, in fact, on the company, this company is managing its risk, okay? The natural risk. In case there is a shortage in the minerals, I'm able to manage. This is the new question that the company are going to face, and this is where, in fact, the company are going to be prepared. And in the company that are pretty well rated at European level, in large countries, there are countries such as France, for sure, but Italy and Spain are very well positioned. And this is very important to mention because when those countries are well positioned, that means that there is a real knowledge in the geographies, in fact, to handle those topics. So it's a competitive advantage for those countries, in fact, to tackle those dimensions.